Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Fuel for Success, episode 253. And today's a Tuesday, and we're going to be talking about health and wellness and all of those wonderful fitness related topics. And you know what? You know how blessed you are to be watching the show today? We've got the one and only, my co host. He's the author of Just Juice It. He's not only a health coach. Hey, listen, Matt, have you ever been to the orchestra?
Um, Maybe once.
Maybe once. Well, if you ever have, and you don't necessarily have to like classical music, but the complexity of the music that they create, and do you realize sometimes we look at our health as a very sort of black and white binary thing that's very polarized, like eat this, don't eat that, and it's simplified. But do you know that your health is actually an orchestral arrangement of complexities? Just like an orchestra, it's like a symphonic melody that's intricately interwoven of all these different parts of our life. And we have the one and only health maestro with us today. So how are you this morning, maestro?
Mike is the doctor of analogies, man. You are like Dr. Analogies. I'm blessed, man. I'm so grateful for another day. And when I say that, I mean it. I'm grateful for another day, my friend. And I'm grateful to be back. Fuel for Success, episode 253. Thank you for the kind words, Mike. Looking forward to our week of shows this week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
Right.
9:30. Giving value, coaching, content, and Q&A. Don't forget, guys, the number one value of Fuel for Success is access. To be able to get right on here and ask questions. And here's what's cool. Let's say you're one of our archive watchers and you feel deprived because you're not able to get in the chat box and you can't ask questions. You actually can. All you have to do is email Mike or myself, and we'll bring your question to the show, which is what we do every day. We take questions that come in and we answer them.
That's what we do. We answer questions. You can ask us questions about anything. We may or may not answer them, but go ahead and ask. And hey, so you're right, Matt, and it's great to be part of an interactive audience here today. And thanks everybody that's live. And just as a reminder, and especially if you've never used this platform, you can type in the chat box and ask questions, or click on the Ask a Question button and ask, and we'll get to them as quickly as we can. If you are watching later on the archives or listening on podcast, you can email us, mike@mathematics.com, or send a text message, 727-341-5599. We'll get to it as quickly as we can. And that would be awesome. Or there's actually a Facebook page, too, Fuel for Success. You can go there. You can like that page. You can ask questions there, interact, and we'll, you could write me a letter if you want to. Whatever works. We'll get to your questions.
Whatever works. Find a way to contact. Mike, when I know someone wants to really get a hold of me, I love people that go all in and use every means possible. I mean, when someone wants to get a hold of me, I'll get a direct message on Twitter, I'll get a tweet, I'll get a Facebook message, I'll get a Facebook post, I'll get an email, I'll get a call, I'll get a text. You'll get a text.
Yeah, we're not
That's
gonna.
how I know. You know what? Okay, this person's for real here.
Yeah, not going to call any names or anything, John Fond, but
Who I love, John Fontan.
hey,
He's the killer, man. His nickname is the Killer.
yeah, he's awesome. Love that guy. Hey, so let's jump into some of the questions that have come in and again, live audience, go ahead and ask questions. Let me ask you this, and I know that, and I'm excited about the post that you had this morning about your son and the book that he's writing. Your son's a healthy young man. He's has health is a priority for him. Can you tell us a little bit, why do you think it's so important to teach our kids about health, at a young age?
Mike, here's the deal. We get our kids for 18 years,
Right.
Maybe even longer, but a guaranteed 18 years-ish. And it's our job as parents to prepare them for life. That's our job. It's not just to put a roof over their head and send them to school. We are called and actually challenged by God. It's actually a commandment by God to train up a child. So it's not just, giving a kid a bedroom and a roof over the head and whatever. Like, we're supposed to train our children. And that's a biblical concept that a lot of parents miss.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm extremely thorough in this whole training process because I take it serious. The reason why I think it's so important is because if you can give your kids the right habits while they're young, there's a really good chance that they're not going to be obese, which is going to make their life a whole lot better. Mike, if we knew what obese children go through at school,
You're right.
we would never take them for fast food again, ever. We would never go stop and get a donut every morning on the way to school. Like, the amount of times as a dad that I told Caleb, no, you can't have a donut, when other parents would be like, come on, he's a kid. Like, that's my point exactly. I'm teaching him the power of moderation. I'm teaching him the power of process. That you don't just grab a donut whenever you want. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's so important because we're preparing them for life. And if we teach them healthy habits when they're young, there's a good chance they won't be obese. There's a good chance they're going to be healthier. When people are healthier, Mike, let me tell you what comes with health. Confidence, good self-esteem, good energy. Healthier people are always like, and when I know what a question came in on this, but physical and emotional, you can't separate them. So when you train your kids to be healthy, by nature, they're going to be more confident. They're going to feel better about themselves. They're going to be less likely to be depressed because foods affect moods. And I really believe one reason a lot of people have bad emotions or depression or whatever is because of the foods that they eat. Another reason, Mike, is because I believe it's important to show our kids the right habits so that when they're older, they won't struggle. Like, don't you sometimes wish there were things our parents would have done better? Really, and I don't fault them, but there's things that I tell my son, dude, if my dad would have done this for me, like me even like encouraging Caleb to write his first book, right?
Yeah.
Like, that was why not? Like, he one day said, Dad, I've been thinking about writing a book. Well, yeah, do it. Like, start right now, Caleb. Literally start today. And he's like, how do I do it? I was like, you know what? Just write. Figure out what you want to write about. Write out what chapters, and you don't gotta write them in order. I was like, write out your chapter. Let's do it. You tell me your chapter. Tell me the points. He wants to talk about how to be a successful kid. I was like, okay, now remember, what you're writing for is the children out there that are going to be reading this book. 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds, 14-year-olds. So you write to them. And, it's just like one of those things. And listen, Mike, I know I'm not a perfect dad. I know I'm not. There's so many areas I trust me. There's areas I need to be better in. But we need to be, as parents, take our role serious when it comes to health to teach our children. And now, Mike, I can honestly say I live with the kid. It's a lifestyle for him. Every single time it's time to eat, he requests healthy stuff. Like, never once in the last probably 6 months has Caleb asked to go to a fast food place. Because his body's he's juicing. Like yesterday on his own, he juiced twice. He exercised. So he's getting the right habits.
Right.
And now, it's like, Dad, I want a salad. I want grilled chicken. I want salmon. We'll go to a restaurant. He'll literally say, what's the healthiest thing on the menu? So that came from habit building within children. That's kind of a long answer, but very, very passionate about that. Obviously,
it's a good answer, and I like what you said about looking forward to what the kids, your kid's future is going to be like. And one of the things that I think as a parent, and of course this isn't a parenting episode, but I'm going to go there just briefly, and this may sting a little bit, but sometimes I think as parents we have the wrong time frame perspective when we make decisions about our kids, and it could be about our kids' health or another part of. And let's just take health, for example, right? It's very easy to make the short-term decision with a short-term perspective. And you got to ask yourself as a parent, am I making this decision looking at the next 5 minutes or the next 5 years or the next 5 decades, right? And so, if you just like give the kids fast food because they're whiny and it's just you take care of it and it's just like, okay, now it's out of my hair and I don't have to worry about it. You're making a decision for the next 5 minutes. And that's not a good parenting choice. That's not a good decision. And believe me, I understand this because I raised 3 kids, and my youngest is about to turn 18, shedding a tear. But and as they say, bad decisions make great stories. They also, instill wisdom. And I know from the mistakes that I've made that a lot of times we make those short-term decisions when we really should be looking at the next 5 years and the next 5 decades. What do we want our kids to be? Our job as parents is to enable them to be as successful as they can be.
Yeah.
So,
well, see, Mike, and
right.
that was what you said was golden, because a lot of parents do things out of guilt especially when it comes to, and I wrote about this in my book about not, for example, when our kid has a bad day, we said, well, let's go get some ice cream. Or as soon as they leave the doctor, right? Well, let's go get ice cream. Right. And I'm actually not for that, because I really believe that's one of the reasons people struggle with emotional eating. Again, Mike, I am such a believer in habits. Even though it may seem like, wow, you really won't take your kid to the ice cream after the doctor? No, because I don't want him to think every time something bad happens, you turn to ice cream. There's emotional connections that get established throughout life. And I'm not kidding. This is real. If I'm going to take him to ice cream, it's going to be not after something bad happens. If something bad happens, the best thing to do is go juice, because it's going to put you in a better mood. Ice cream's only going to, an hour after ice cream, the hour during it is unbelievable. But you mark my words, you start journaling the hour after everything bad you eat. And you keep a journal. I'm not even lying. Every time you go eat bad, an hour later, I want you to write down your feelings. How am I feeling in my body right now? And I assure you, about 100% of the time, you're going to feel nasty. Oh, shouldn't have eaten that. I feel bloated. I feel sick. I feel dizzy. I feel tired. This is important, Mike. In fact, in our My Health 90, we encourage our people to journal. It's important to be aware of your body and to know, how you feel when you eat certain things. But anyways, we got to really start when our kids are young and not teach them to be emotional eaters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
excuse me. Yeah, absolutely. And I think rather than ice cream, the best solution when you're feeling bad or you're depressed or whatever, exercise, even if it's just a walk. So, hey, you kind of.
We as parents, I know we're going to go to the next question, but we as parents have got to slow down and do these things, and not teach and again, like you said, Mike, we've all made bad decisions. A lot of times we weren't aware. Nobody taught us. Nobody sat down and said, no, listen, these things, these little, and so through our kids' life, we as parents got to take full responsibility. We gave our kids these bad habits. They didn't learn anywhere else. They learned it at home. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I like Misty's comment, just growing up, a lot of us didn't grow up with positive role model as parents in regards to health. And she mentions that she grew up eating, Hamburger Helper, canned vegetables, and Spam, which is sort of the least common denominator, right? And so it's difficult. She's saying it's difficult to sort of reprogram and change. And that's absolutely the truth. Sometimes it takes a force and a period of time to develop the right habits and help instill that in our kids. But it's up to us to break that pattern.
Dude, the thought of eating Spam, I'm surprised that stuff, how does it sell? You know what I mean? Who literally would buy a can of Spam and eat it? To me, the thought of it puts me in immediately gag.
Hey,
and
easy
I'm with you. Misty, whoever said that, was it Misty?
Misty, yeah.
I'm with you, Misty. I grew up on that stuff. I mean, I didn't grow up healthy at all. I love my parents, and if you're watching, I love you till death. But yeah, the Hamburger Helper and the Spam was in my house, man. But I never ate it. I couldn't stomach it.
I can relate a little bit more to what Tommy said. His mom grew up poor, eating homemade food and garden food, and the first time she went out and got a burger, from a restaurant, it literally made her sick because she was used to, the homegrown, the whole food. So that's kind of the way I grew up with whole food and things. So I can definitely understand that. Hey, so we mentioned emotional eating and different situations. Did you want to expound a little bit more? There was a question on how emotions sort of affect our health.
Well, we're going to actually do a webinar upcoming about this, so I'm going to be somewhat brief about it. But, Mike, I always tell people the first and most important is mental and emotional health. When you get healthy mentally and you start to think healthy thoughts and you heal emotionally and you let go of bitterness and you start to forgive anyone that's hurt you, it's going to affect your body in the positive. Mike, I wholeheartedly believe one reason that people have diseases and sicknesses is because of emotions, period.
I agree.
Not anything else.
Right.
It's because of emotions. That's why, Mike, can I just say this, and you guys just got to bear with me, okay? My Health 90 to me, someone asked me yesterday, well, what makes you different from anybody else? I said, listen, you can take the top 100 weight loss strategies in the world, whether it's Weight Watchers or whether it's, P90X or whether it's, whatever it could be, the Atkins diet or the South Beach diet. As someone just tell you flat out, all of them work. You hear me? Like every one of them work. If you do these things, you're gonna lose weight. But Mike, what I have seen happen many, many times is because people didn't heal mentally and emotionally, while they may have lost the weight physically, a lot of them relapsed. A lot of them went back to, emotional eating or whatever. The number one benefit of My Health 90 is not the fact that we're going to help you lose weight. The number one benefit is we're going to help you here and here. We're going to give you coaching that's going to change your life and help you heal and help you become stronger and help you have a better attitude and better energy and better thinking, right? Like the amount of coaching that's taken place, Mike, I don't know of anything like it. I really don't know of anything like the amount of support and coaching that we give in My Health 90 that helps people lose weight as well. So having said that, I believe, Mike, that anyone that's overweight right now, their number one focus should not be weight loss. And I know that's like contrary to like what anybody else is going to tell you. The number one focus should be for you to learn how to love yourself, forgive people that have hurt you, heal emotionally, and focus on emotional health while you're getting physically healthy. Because, Mike, I've seen too many people relapse, lose 25 pounds, lose 40 pounds, and go right back because they didn't deal with the emotions. Emotions make us well or they make us sick. Emotions affect every single part of our body. I've studied a lot of people, Mike, and I can't tell you how many times I've known people that had pains, neck pains, that I literally believe were emotionally caused. Back pain. Like our body, God created our body to be well. God created foods that if we put them in our body and we literally take care of our health the right way, we shouldn't be having these aches and pains and, sicknesses and diseases in our life. And listen, I'm not saying that every single time that someone is sick, that it's because they're bitter. But I can tell you this, most of the time, bitterness, unforgiveness, anger, resentment, that stuff will lead to sickness. Or are you ready for this? It will affect your immune system. And when your immune system is not able to fight off diseases or sicknesses, that's what happens. Stress is a destroyer of our immune system. So speaking of emotions, Mike, when we're stressed out and we allow stress in our life, it affects our body. I can take you back to any time that I was sick over the last 10 years, let's say, or any time I had something wrong in my body, 100% of the time, it was because of emotions.
It's good. I like to think of emotions as an integral part of our immune system. And that, my friend, is why you're the health maestro. Hey, a couple of questions that came in, and I appreciate the comments from everyone. Good stuff. I want to go in just a minute to meal plans and cheat days, and we'll talk about those for just a little bit. By the way, Misty, great job. She said yesterday was one of the first times she didn't turn to food, even though she had some depression. She's in My Health 90, and it's making an impact there. So thanks for that, Misty, and great job.
I'm sorry to hear about your mom, Misty. I know that's got to be tough. Definitely got to be tough because there's no easy way around that. So our prayers and thoughts are out to you on that. And I am proud of you that you didn't turn to food. And Mike and I are going to really be praying. When Mike and I say we're praying for you, we really are. We're praying for you because I know that stuff hurts. And sometimes there's just, I feel you. There's times when you're in so much pain, you just want to go eat. And you made a wise choice by not doing it. But Mike, that's huge for her to reach that place of breakthrough where it's the first time she didn't turn to food. That's huge, man. Great win right there, Misty.
Right, exactly. And every time you make those right decisions, it makes those positive habit forming ruts a little bit deeper. So good job. Hey, a couple of questions came in. I want to grab Jonathan Lennox's first here. He asked a question about workout routines. And specifically, he was told that doing the same workout every day isn't necessarily good for him. Can you speak to that just a little bit?
Well, I mean, it depends on if you're talking, you're talking weights, then your friend is correct. You need to switch it up. Obviously, your muscle needs at least 2 days of rest. So if I work shoulders and chest, it needs at least 2 days to rest. But as far as like running, jogging, biking, swimming, no, that's not true. That's still going to be healthy and good for you. If I swam every day as my workout, yes, it's going to have tremendous benefits to me. If I decided to bike or jog, anytime you're moving your body, Jonathan, and exercising. See, remember, exercise, and I said this a lot, it's not just for the physical. Exercise is as much for the emotional and spiritual as it is for the physical. There's such a release, there's nothing like a good sweat, so also understand that it's not just so you can have a flat stomach or, a tighter body or whatever. That's not the only goal of exercise. Exercise is good for this up here, and it's good for your emotions. So if he's talking weights, Jonathan, he's right. Mike, I know you know a lot about switching up workouts, so why don't you speak to this, my friend?
Yeah, I personally do generally do a 3-day rotation on resistance training. And actually, Jonathan, you're in My Health 90. There will be a video series coming up in I think next week for you that'll show you sort of what the outline of my routine is. But I do a 3-day rotation so that I have 2 days rest for every muscle group. In cardio, I do basically the same cardio almost every day, although I actually do switch it up mostly just so I don't get bored. I'll do since it's 18 degrees below zero here. I'm stuck to indoors mostly because it's pretty hard to breathe outside when you're running. But I'll do like an elliptical, treadmill, stationary bike, and I'll swap them around and do some of this and some of that, and then I'll do some interval stuff on an elliptical and those sort of things. But it's less, as long as you're getting cardio, it's good for you. So that's my short answer.
That's a good answer.
I want to bring this up because Lance put it up here, and it's an interesting question. And apparently there's a movement in that fitness industry, especially among bodybuilders, that instead of doing protein shakes, they're consuming human breast milk. Have you heard of this?
Lance, I saw it last night in My Health 90, and I got a kick out of it, my friend. I really did. And, I appreciated the post and the question. And, only in Canada. Yeah, it hadn't hit America yet, in my opinion.
It's a Canadian thing.
So it must be a Canadian thing up there, Lance. But no, anyways, Lance, I got to be honest with you. There's always something new coming out, okay? Always.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always something new coming out. And that's the nature of humanity. Humanity is discovering and exploring and testing and whatever. I would tell any mom that if you have a baby, then you absolutely need to breastfeed because I believe breastfeeding is extremely healthy. So if you can do it, do it. Yes. Would I ever drink breast milk after working out? No, never. I don't care if the healthiest person on earth said that it was good for muscle building or whatever. I'm sticking to my protein shakes. Would I ever like put that on our My Health 90 people, Lance? Absolutely
No.
not. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's not coming to My Health 90 anytime soon. So if you're worried about signing up thinking, I don't know if I can do the breast milk thing, you're in good shape. Mike and I are not going to encourage that. Right, Mike?
Not going to encourage that. That's just sort of weird. I don't know how else to say it. Listen, there's a lot of great protein sources that you don't have to listen. It's just silly. It's
A little cinnamon and banana with it, Lance.
hey, so let me ask you this then. We talked earlier about creating the right habits, creating a right situation for to be successful in your health. And there was a question that came in about meal plans. Is doing a meal plan important, and if so, why?
Life or death, man. Life or death. It's extremely important. Unless if you're the 1-2%er that you have everything done by memory, and you literally have the ability to live in your brain, like there's a 1-2%er that does. Most humanity, Mike, needs a plan. They need a written plan for everything. Like you need to plan out your week, you need to plan out your month, you need to plan out your year, you need to plan out your day, you need to plan for your money, you need to plan for your time, and you need to plan for your health. And Mike, a meal plan saves people from bad eating. It's that simple. Like the act of sitting down with a meal plan that we give in My Health 90, a blank meal plan, the act of writing it down every Sunday, knowing exactly what you're going to have for lunch Thursday, what you're going to have for dinner, having it written down gives you the ability to prepare. And it also keeps you, when you don't have a plan, when hunger comes and you don't have a plan, it's so much easier just to go grab something or whip something up that's in the house. And again, this is why we teach we don't even keep unhealthy things in our house. We really don't. You can right now walk into my home, look through my refrigerator, freezer, and cupboard, and I assure you will not find anything unhealthy because that's a value we have. We don't bring it in our house. So it's kind of like certain animals at the zoo. If you want to see them, go to the zoo, but I'm not bringing them home, So there's certain foods I would eat on maybe a quote unquote off day or whatever, but I would never bring it home and keep it in the house.
That's good.
Which, shout out to one of our members, Sherry. She's on the show. She had a breakthrough this week. She's in My Health 90, and her husband brought her Girl Scout cookies. And proud of her, she only ate 2 of them and threw the rest away. And somebody would say, you threw them away? Are you kidding? Like, that's a waste, right? Well, there's 2 ways to look at that. Is it a waste? Either way, it's a waste, whether it's in her stomach or in the trash. Get it?
Right.
Either way, it's a waste. So it's better, it's actually safer in the trash than in her stomach or in her body. You feel me? So stop looking at it, everything like, oh, you're waste. That's another big myth, Mike. We grew up with our parents saying, don't waste food because, it's, you know what it is? I don't believe in that. I would never tell Caleb, you're going to eat everything on your plate. I would never do that. That is the worst. I hate that way of thinking. I don't believe in it. I don't. I believe portion control. I believe you eat until you're full or right before you're full. Because what happens in our country is we eat these big, huge portions. Welcome back. We eat these big, huge portions. And, it's one of these things where, where that's why I believe a lot of people struggle with obesity and weight gain. So, anyways. So that's my take on it, Mike.
Awesome. How many of us would live our lives financially without planning a budget and not having a plan for how we're going to spend our money and where we're going to put our money? So it doesn't really make much sense to just sort of wander through life with no idea, what our meals are going to be and how we're going to sustain our bodies. So it makes logical sense. you mentioned off days or cheat days or whatever, when you go out to visit that animal in the zoo, which analogy wise, I assume means like pizza or something of that nature. So, let's talk about cheat days for a minute, or off days, or free days, or splurge days, or whatever we want to use for a term there. What's the benefit? What's the downside? What's the opinion on
Well, I
that?
just want to say real quick that I will answer this, but to Tommy and Mary's point, we've said it before and we'll say it again. I would never say that to my son. Well, there's kids in third world countries. I would never say
All right.
that to guilt him into finishing everything that's on his plate because I don't believe that that's creating bad habits. It's creating bad thinking. Like, I'm going to help kids in third world countries. So is my son. But I'm never going to guilt. See, you don't live life out of guilt. Like, the more blessed you are, the more you have to give biblically. The Bible says where much is given, much is required. So the fact that you're living
Right.
right now, that you're not living in a third world country, shouldn't make you feel guilty. It should make you feel radical. But never to the point of, I've been to the Philippines. I've watched with my own eyes children in trash dumps, folks, digging for food, and I'm not even kidding, with the biggest smiles on their faces, digging through big, huge children, like 6, 7, 8-year-old children,
Right.
digging, like trying to find food. You don't think that affects me when I get back here to America, when I see like the endless amount of food we have here? Sure it does, but doesn't make me feel guilty. It makes me feel motivated to want to live conservatively, make wealth, so I can be a blessing. But that's a whole nother subject. But I just wanted to address that because I don't want any of you parents out there that are watching our show to use that as motivation to get your kids to eat anymore. Use that for motivation
That goes.
to
Yeah.
get your kid not to be a dull, dead, ungrateful, spoiled person in life. But don't use that as motivation to get them to eat.
Right. That goes back to the emotional cues that we give our kids. Just like if you're sad or you have a bad day, we go get ice cream. It's the same. You build those emotional strongholds in their life, and it's very difficult for them to overcome them later. To this day, it's very difficult for me not to finish everything on my plate. Even though I, in my mind, understand the benefit of it, just because when I was a kid, man, you didn't like leave anything on the plate, and so it's to this day hard for me. 40 years later.
Yeah, you're right. So, and some people grow up that way, and I did as well. So it's a lot. That's where we're like, why My Health 90 is powerful, because we literally for 90 days help reprogram your thinking. That's part of the coaching process. It's all about reprogramming your mind. If you're going to get better financially, you got to reprogram your mind and your beliefs, because your mind and your beliefs impact behavior. Same thing with health. Same thing with spirituality. Mike, you know how many spiritual people, church people I meet that I wish I could sit down and coach every one of them and help reprogram their thinking because they're so off base
Right.
with their view of God and Christianity and you name it. But anyway, so let's take 2 minutes real quick, Mike, and answer the cheat day.
2 minutes.
We're going to give you a brief answer on this because actually those in My Health 90 got a whole video about this yesterday. And I gave them 3 different options on how to approach quote unquote cheat days. But because we love our Fuel for Success community, we're going to give you one right here. And I would say this, Mike. I really believe that moderation is the secret. It's the mother of all secrets when it comes to life. Moderation is the key. And for example, when it comes to eating healthy, I do believe that, and Mike and I had a long talk about this yesterday because we're training hundreds of people right now. And we were talking about the fact that we literally believe that if somebody would go extreme in their health Monday through Friday, I mean extreme, meaning like this is what I used to teach people when I did one-on-one coaching, what I still teach people actually. Monday through Friday, you're extreme. You don't touch bread, red meat, fried food, fast food, cakes, nothing. You don't even touch it Monday through Friday. Monday through Friday, it's oatmeal, it's juicing, it's salads, it's chicken, grilled chicken, It's salmon. It's grilled veggies. It's juicing. It's nothing but health. Wraps, turkey wraps, healthy turkey. Everything Monday through Friday is extreme health. You don't miss a day of exercise. And what I would tell people is Saturday and Sunday, you stay with your 2 juices, you stay with your exercise, you drink your water, and in moderation, you allow yourself 2, no more than 2, what we would refer to as cheat meals, bad meals, right? But you still do that meal in moderation. In other words, don't overeat. What a lot of people do, Mike, when they get healthy and they have their cheat day, they fall off the cliff, man, because they just go crazy. And they're violating the principle of moderation. And they're violating the principle of portion control. That, hey, just because they give you a big, let's say you go to Five Guys on one of your cheat meals, right? Do you know how much fries they put in those bags? I literally, Mike, you know what I do? I count and predetermine how many fries I'm going to eat. And I pull them out, and that's it. And that's like good habits. So will I eat 15 fries? Sometimes maybe 10, I don't know. Depends on what I'm feeling in my body. I might grab 10 out and I'll literally go throw the rest away. And I'm not even kidding. And sometimes I would eat the burger, and sometimes I would take one bun off. You know what that's doing? It's keeping my mind and body doing little things. You know what I'm saying? Mike, we've done it. How many times have you and I been out and we took the top bread off of a sub? Seriously. Or maybe I would eat the pizza and I would
or
eat just the crust and some of the toppings and leave the rest of the dough alone. It's doing little things in moderation. I really believe in that. So what's your take on that? He's so stunned by my wisdom that he's frozen right now. And Al, that is one way some people live, and that's an all-in, never touch bad food again. And I'm okay with that. I've got friends that do that. I personally don't live that lifestyle. I live a lifestyle of extremely healthy living, and usually on Saturdays and Sundays, I go about 80-20, which means I stay 80% healthy on Saturday, Sundays, and go a little bit in moderation, and that's my lifestyle. Mike, what was your take on that? We'll close.
I think that you're 100% right. And one of the things that happens, and I like what actually Christy sort of echoed what I was going to say, is that a lot of times your body tells you, right? I mean, you start eating healthy, and also what Bethany said, your body tells you like this. Your body begins to reject that overindulgence, the junk food. That your body's like, I just don't feel good, And if you listen to your body and you're cognizant of it. And I like what you said about taking those small steps, because it reinforces mentally and emotionally that even though you may be eating something that isn't the healthiest thing, that it's an exception and not the rule. And so keeping that almost at arm's length, like, okay, this is sort of a dangerous thing. I'm going to deal with it carefully. It's a bottle of nitroglycerin that could explode in my health life. So I'm going to deal with it cautiously. I'm going to keep it cool. I'm not going to knock it around. I'm just going to eat a little bit of it. Keeping that mentality keeps us level. And I think that's a good, and when we go out to eat, the portions are ridiculous, right?
Oh, you can
feed
a family of 4 sometimes off of one plate.
Exactly. We actually, here's a great example, and also a frugality tip for our viewers and listeners. My family, my wife and my daughter and I will go to Chipotle and get one of the bowls, and that'll feed all 3 of us.
That's what I call portion control, baby. Misty made a good point. She said, I think I need a more moderate. If you guys could listen, I'm going to give you a key right here, and only those that are really listening are going to get it. Only those that really are listening are going to get what I'm about to say. Let me tell you how easy health can work for you, okay? No matter what, every day you juice. No matter what, hear me? Every day you juice. You drink water and you do not touch soda. You don't touch it. You become a water drinker. Number 2, you eat clean. Clean organic meats and a lot of salads Monday through Friday. And Don't touch bad food on those days at all. Not even a bite. Saturdays and Sundays, you still juice, you still drink water, you still exercise, and you go moderation, portion control, fill your own body. If it's one meal, no more than four. No more than four. I told Mike yesterday, Mike, if somebody would adopt that every week of their life, they would not eat more than four. You got 1 to 4. No more 1 to 4 meals that are unhealthy. And I'm not talking about big meals. I'm talking about portion control here. If they would go no more than 4 meals a week, and they would juice every day, exercise every day, think positive, stay away from GMOs, stay away from sugar, stay away from whatever, I promise you, you're going to be extremely healthy. I mean, extremely healthy. If you'll listen, what I just gave you in the last minute, you'll listen to it and you'll do it. I just changed your life. And you ready for this? For those that have still not signed up for My Health 90, friends, I'm telling you, it's worth it just for the coaching alone, the support, the motivation, and the structure of just helping you get on a meal plan and helping you stay accountable. It is so worth it. I promise you, if we charged $150 a week, it would be worth it. The price is irrelevant. It's about what you're going to get for a little bit of investment. Little bit. I mean, it's irrelevant. The coaching alone is worth it, my friends. So check it out. Go to myhealth90.com. We've enjoyed being with you, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow morning at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time for our show, Mike, about family and relationships. Mike, anything you wanted to say in closing?
No, it's been a great show. A lot of great content from the Health Maestro. Go take a look at My Health 90 if you don't have a copy of Just Juice It. It's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. You can find it. Go find it.
We really appreciate those that watch live today, and we really appreciate those that watch on the archives as well. Don't forget, you're able to go to iTunes and download every single one of our 253 episodes for free. And you can go to YouTube. Mike, if people have not seen our webinar for Friday night on energy, can you give them a link to that real quick before we leave out? Because that was, Mike and I sat down for, I think it was 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Then we spent another 15 minutes doing Q&A. That was a bonus. And watch that webinar. It's very important. Like, if you watched it and applied 80% of it, you would become the most energetic person at your workplace, in your church, in your whole family. And energy is the key to everything. So there's the YouTube link right there. Mike just put it up. All you got to do is click it, save it, and if these shows help you at all, put them out on your Facebook, send them out to your friends, text them out. We love you guys, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you very much, Tommy. That was very kind of you. We appreciate it. Love y'all. God bless you. Click that link. We'll see y'all tomorrow at 9:30.
Have an awesome Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow.